adequate theory of nutrition 19th century has ended with pessimism, Malthusian era of unfavorable contradiction between limited ability of food resources on our planet and exponential growth of the population. In 20th century, there were two achievements of civilization: the complete understanding of chemical composition of the food and the Green Revolution. Two, scientific discoveries of our most important food ingredients led to a reasonable understanding of what humans need to feed inside, and gave a hope to replace an agricultural and industrial production of equal artificial food. The technological breakthrough in the food production technology stimulates an excitement for humanity regarding the situation of millennial-long problem: fight against starvation. These great achievements of science and agricultural technology made starvation mostly the problem of political and economical. At the same time, they create the opposite problem: the weight and diet-related disease. As the result of discovery of all necessary food ingredients and determination of their need among balanced theory of nutrition in several not principally different modifications. Because sometimes like an obvious solution, at the moment it seems that ideal food is a close proximity. Really, why not? If we know how much of this is and what chemicals we need for human nutrition health, and we can synthesize them, then just mix them together in some kind of a tablet and cream and soup and feed the man. He or she will be healthy and happy. And some attempts of such kind were made, but they gave no such good results. The first explanation of this misfortune of artificial adherence food was like this: we made some miscalculations and misbalanced proportion of ingredients. We synthesized not exactly the same isomer, and we didn't purify them well. Probably the first who proposed the new version of the cause of main problem of this idea of food and gave the explanation that the editors of the balanced artificial food was my beloved mentor Alexander Ugolev. At this time, he supervised the Soviet spaceship program in the field of nutrition. The problems were huge. Each pound of food for astronauts in the long space trip cost tremendous amount of money, and large food storage limits other aspects of the space trip because of weight. So traditional nutritionists saw a solution in creating a cream and powder that will include 20 amino acids, some fat components, and sugars plus necessary vitamins and minerals. Nothing useless. The weight of such a dinner consists of simply food units, monomers. For the strong, hard-working man was about a quarter of a pound. Ugolev made several important claims that compromise balanced theory of nutrition. One of them is that the absence of normal digestive processing of food in case of mixture is really food monomers interrupts the complex physiology of food digestion and absorption, and disorientate cooperation of different physiological systems within the organism, which is necessary for the normal functions. Second, the replacement of natural polymeric food with a mixture of substances monomers is leading to disruption of normal bacterial population inside the gut. Based on this hardly disputable fact and other ideas, Ugolev proposed a new theory of adequate nutrition. Unfortunately, this theory which may be considered as a basis for general nutrition theory of 21st century did not get proper attention, probably because of the early death of the author. Many popular nutrition theories in recent decades actually are still in the variation of balanced theory of nutrition, with some small adjustments. They change the list of nutrients which should be balanced, incorporating some new of them or eliminating others. They play with the numbers, but the idea in general was keeping the same. Proportion of ingredients should be equal to the need of microorganisms, no matter what form they are. So besides everything else, as one of the favorite followers of Ugliev and scientists with certain achievement in the field, Efraim Gurman is well familiar with the theory and necessity continue the journey of adequate theory of nutrition. In the wilderness, the nutrition of eaters is triggered by hunger, feeding the one second. In the wilderness, the nutrition of eater is triggered by hunger. Feeding the hunger is an integrated response to numerous inner signals, and it's commanded in the organism in general to start a hunting behavior, and the digestive system particularly be ready. Contrary, for the contemporary humans, this trigger often is compromised by external signals, rules, traditions, special signals, outdoor sites of influence, and food sellers, doctors' recommendations, and even by social stimulus. For instance, ethnical traditions, work schedule, or party family gathering can push people to dinner when their organism does not need it. Usually, most dietitians recommend forget about appetite as the powerful autopilot gifted us by Mother Nature. In fact, appetite is rather a precise regulation of three things: when we eat, what we eat, and how much we eat. Thus, a healthy person keeps stable weight without paying attention to his diet. Spending the calories may vary from day to day. Dishes may vary in size and content, but in a long-term scale, weight on the body will be the same. Taking into account just about 50 extra calories a day, actually one second bite of regular food additionally will lead to additional 7-8 pounds of body mass during a year. See how precisely this mechanism works. Of course, such precision belongs to healthy appetite. As any other biological mechanism, it may be ruined genetically or by wrong education. Unfortunately, dietitians often neglect that. They either miss the potential of healthy appetite or do not take the account of possibility of distortion of appetite by bad habits. Plus, commercial influence can use such distortion for their benefits. We'll discuss that in the following chapters. So we all cascade of nutrition events should be initialized naturally. It means by appetite. Feature, the more the digestion never happens as a separate event. A lot of inner organs signs accompany the normal digestion process. Nutrition signals between intestine, pancreas, liver, and other systems, including brain, occur during the food processing digestion. And these regulatory influences are extremely significant for the whole body, as it shown in clinical experiments on rats with the perfusion of isolation small intestines by A. Ugliev and B. Zapirov. Beside the digestion itself, the small intestine products a number of neurotransmitters, including such powerful as endorphins, serotonin, dopamine, etc. That is why feeding is connected with the mood. The inner signals not only trigger eating behavior, but also dictates when eating should be over. And this command can be composed also by external influences. It is widely considered that Mother Nature creates the best food for the newborn babies. During the previous century, it was accepted the idea that mother's milk is the ideal food, at least for baby. The amount of protein, fats, and carbs in milk was considered the best for the young eater, and based on the content, numerous artificial analogs, such called baby formulas, were produced. As they all really ideal, first it was found that besides constructing materials and energy sources, mother's milk provides babies with immunoglobulin, which are probably important for the baby immunity. The role of mother's immunoglobulin as the passive supplement for baby's development immune system and for the control of the baby gut microflora is well known now. But there is another interesting thing. Human mother milk has about 200 different oligosaccharides. Why is that? Nature is usually a very economical designer. If the purpose of the carbohydrates present in the milk just to support baby will easily energy source, then lactose would be enough. Then more a relation between milk and lactose and enzyme digesting it. Lactose represents a well-known mechanism of regulation of their moment when lactation should be over and baby has to switch from milk feeding to define adult such type feeding. Why mother's milk spitting energy and genomic space to keep all the machinery needs to produce 200 different oligosaccharides? The clue is nature's logic might be in a different idea that different oligosaccharides are necessary to support the diversity of the microbes in the baby's gut. Different microbes in the gut consume different types of carbohydrates. The importance of gut microbes complex of microorganisms living in the gut because now more and more obvious. Actually, today we should see our organism not like something independent from microbacterial partners, but as complex inseparable system where human's genome operates in the partnership with genome of multiple of microhabitants of its body. Respectfully evaluating the influence of food on the human body, we have to take into consideration that some effects might be mediated by microbes living in it. Thus, digoxin, a well-known cardio enhancer first found in herbs, is rather effective, but works well in 9 cases out of 10. Why this 10th pattern is so different? It was discovered that the 10th parent lost just one microbe from his/her microbiome. Another example, sulfasalazine, the effective drug in medicine arsenal, also originate from herbs, by the way, is efficient in 30% of people. What is the case of such a specificity? Such specify in those unlucky people. Again, the specificity of their microbiome. The microbiome has one additional species, which is absent in other patient bowls. This microbe destroyed the drug. And so just as one lost and one added microbe can completely compromise an organism reaction to an important drug, we should expect even more similar results when we will be able to analyze a cooperative effect on many microbes. The meaning of this information implies that microbiome input in our health is not limited to additional supplies of the organism with the energy and materials, but its main role may consist in its supply with the regulatory facts. Thus, drug recent decades with their punishment. Several scientists articles which claim certain correlation, even dependence on such behavior, specify as autism from species diversity in the gut. Regular food brings inside the host of organism, besides the constructive materials and energy, a lot of regulatory factors too. Thus, most salads with which we eat every day has very small meaning in terms of energy and protein, but combination of vegetarian and herb with such a dish often offer our body a wide range of regulatory factors. Actually, any source of food besides constructive materials and energy supply organism with numerous and different regulatory factors. And we see that minor components of natural food may have certain important physiological effects. They can stimulate and calm immune system. They can regulate blood pressure or urination. They can modify levels of hormones. They can influence the brain and change the behavior, including appetite, alertness, and sex drives. Numerous active ingredients in the vegetation part of food and eatable herbs can play an important role in health and function of the body in general. Caffeine, the obnormine, aspirin, antibiotics, hormones, steroids, etc. And you name it, are both food ingredients and medicine. It's banality now that at least half of the effects of pharmaceuticals used in the contemporary disease treatment arrive into medical practice from herbal remedies as predecessors. After the discovery of certain effects of this and that substance in health remedies used by folk medicine, licensed professionals determined that most active one sympathize it, sometimes modify the higher activity and bring it to drug stores and doctors' offices. We already mentioned this scheme above. As it's the right health food, we can be determined which of these supplements moleculars can be exchange supplements from our eating mode.